Hey everybody, Tim Evanicki here with a college audition, back again with another episode of the College Audition Podcast. I'm here today with my very special guest, William Perry Morgan, Director of Musical Theatre from Greensboro College. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey Tim, it's nice to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
My pleasure. So, as our listeners know, we always like to get to know the person before the program. So if you could give us a little background on yourself, your career, and experiences that have led you up to your time at Greensboro College.
Okay, sure. I grew up in New Jersey. My mother was a professional actress. She did everything she could to make sure that her 4 children did not go into show business. We all did. I'm the one who really stuck with it. I started doing I really started doing theater in school, and then in church. And my friends and I used to play Academy Awards with each other. We used to take all the plays that we were in and put them together and make them be nominations. It really started in about 1972. My sister and I were in a play together in our church, The Challenge of the Cross. And so we decided that was the first year that we really took it seriously. And so, I won Best Actor and my sister won Best Actress, and we thought we were full of ourselves. And so every year I would have a little nominations list to give to my friends to vote. Everybody was doing, our 5th grade class did a play, the 6th grade class did a play. Then when we went all on to junior high, different junior high schools did plays, different senior high schools did play. Then we started doing community theater. And so I called them the Avi Awards because I grew up in a town called Avenel. And so I thought I was just like really clever to do that. And as we got into college, a lot of our friends, we were doing different shows at different colleges. And so I used to choose the winners and whoever got the most votes, and we would... I kept a little book of who the winners were. And if I ran into you on the street, I'd give you a certificate and I'd say, hey, I thought you were the best actor of 1976 or whatever it was, and give you a little certificate. And my friend Joyce, who was actually the stage manager for the little company that I had, she said, we should really do this. We should really have a ceremony. And so I said, okay, sure. And the time was right. The brand new Woodbridge Hilton just opened up and cable TV just came into our city. And so we really printed up invitations and sent them out to all the theaters and all the nominees. And everybody showed up in their tuxedos and pretended like they knew what was going on. And we had a little ceremony, and it was actually really cool. And it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and growing and growing. And I would go see more shows every year. And we at first we were serving desserts, and we had an open bar, and then we were serving dinner, and then I got a job to go to Memphis and leave New Jersey, and I was getting married, and while we were in I think I was working somewhere, and the phone rang, and it was somebody who said, hey, we've decided to keep this going on, and we want to name them the Perry Awards after you. And I said, yeah, right, that'll last. And here it is. We started this in 1972, and now... and so I haven't been able to go up as much as I would like to go and see what's going on. But now there's like 1,200 people, and they rent out this huge theater. There's a full orchestra. And it's just like the Tony Awards, and every best musical gets to do their presentation. And what it really did was it brought the theater community in New Jersey together. And so it's called the Perry Awards. You can look it up online, and you can read all about me there. So that's was a big part of my career, and it looks very impressive to colleges and universities and theaters when I talk to them about coming to direct for them. It's like the New Jersey State Theater Awards are named after me, and so that's pretty cool. Yeah. I went to CW Post out on Long Island University. I got my BFA there in music theater. It wasn't a musical theater degree, it was a music theater degree. We did a lot of Shakespeare, we did a lot of Brecht, we did a lot of shows that you didn't do, which was really cool for a university program. We didn't do big musicals like everybody else was doing, at their universities. So we did a lot of Shakespeare. I got to write and compose a lot of music for Shakespeare productions, which was really cool. And then I got my master's in education at CW Post as well. And then I got my MFA years later at Naropa University. And that's in contemporary theater performance. And it's all about creating your own work and reimagining and reinterpreting older works as well. So that's what I really like to do. Mm-hmm. I am a stage director. I've worked at all over the country. Texas Shakespeare Festival, I've directed for them. Playhouse on the Square in Memphis, Barter Theater in Abingdon, the Greenbrier Valley Theater in Lewisburg, West Virginia, the Big Fork Summer Playhouse out in Montana, all over the country. I've worked, which is really nice. It's nice to meet people. It's nice to do theater and share that with a lot of people. As a director, I spent 20 years as the resident composer for a company in Indiana called Pyramid Productions. I wrote a musical review for them every year that they would take on tour to children's hospitals, camps for kids with cancer, shelters for abused women and children. And so we put out a couple of albums. That's how I got my Grammy nominations, which was really cool, a really good service that they would do. So I would write the music, send it off to them. They would rehearse it, and then whatever city I was living in at the time, they would make sure they would pass through so I could at least see part of the show, what they were doing with my songs. A former professor of mine from CW Post out Long Island, she created that company in Indiana, and that's how I got involved with them. I've written a lot of music, a lot of ballet scores that I hooked up with a dance company in New York City, and I got to go to Paris and Copenhagen for the world premiere of my ballets, which was really nice too. I'm not very good at talking about myself, so this is all new. This is really all new for me. I really don't. I don't. It's almost embarrassing, sometimes. But I try to make sure my students don't feel the same way, though.
Right.
So I was working at the Barter Theater. I was the resident musical director there, and the producer. We signed an agreement with Emory and Henry University in Virginia, and the producer at Barter said, they need somebody to teach an American musical theater history class, and so you're going to teach it. And I've always wanted to teach in a university. It was always in the back of my mind. But I said, we're doing rotating rep. I have no time to go teach a class. And he said, you're going to go teach the class. So I was teaching the class, and I really discovered this is what I should be doing. I really enjoy this. And so I went back to school. So I left my very secure job in the professional theater world I was in my 40s. And I went back to school, and I got my MFA, and I started teaching at a school in Louisiana. And then my wife was offered the job here at Greensboro College. She runs the acting program, and so I wasn't going to stay in Louisiana, so we moved here to North Carolina, and I started adjuncting at a lot of schools here. And then they said to me, take a look at the books and see if we can have a musical theater degree. What do we have to do? What do we have to add? So I looked at the courses that were there, and I think I added, I created the musical theater program. I think I added maybe 2 classes to the books, actually. And here I am. I created this BFA in musical theater, which I really believe in, which is pretty strong. How does that answer your question? Did I talk a lot?
That answered all the questions. That was great.
All right.
So,
okay, thanks.
Tell us, though, you oversee the BFA Musical Theater degree. Tell us what other options there are for degrees in theater there.
Yeah, We have a BFA degree in musical theater. We have a BFA in directing. We have a BFA in production design and tech. We have a BA in acting, a BA in costuming, a BA in theater education, and there's a BA in stage management. And then we have minors as well. So if you're not a theater major, you can get a dance minor, you can get a minor in musical theater, you can get a minor in the production tech side also.
So the dance minor.
There's also a general theater degree as well, a general theater that touches on just a little bit of everything. But most of the people really focus on one of those.
So if you're a BFA musical theater major, a dance minor is not possible, if that's what I just heard correct?
If you're a BFA in musical theater, if you're a BFA in musical theater, you automatically get the dance minor added to your, because the everything that's required for the dance minor is built into the musical theater program. I made sure that happened. Mm-hmm. So you actually graduate with a BFA in musical theater with a minor in dance.
Oh, that's wonderful. So we always put our guests on the spot a little bit and ask them for their elevator pitch, the elevator speech on your program, on the BFA Musical Theater program at Greensboro College. And we'll say we have, 60 seconds, but I'm not timing you. Just sort of give us an overview of the hooks, the reasons why students should be considering Greensboro.
In 60 seconds? I go to all of these theater recruiting conventions and talk about the program, and my spiel takes about 20 minutes because I'll tell you why. No, I'll tell you why. Because I go through every class. I tell you exactly what the classes are, what the course makeup is. I can do that real fast. I don't have to go into detail what the class is, but I can tell you exactly what the 4 years are going to look like.
So we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Oh, but okay. I usually ask for a very quick overview of the what are the hooks? What are for Greensboro College?
We are tied into the regional equity house in town, Triad Stage. We are tied into the brand new Broadway touring house, the Tanger Center here in town as well. All of your professors are working theater professionals, which is really cool. And we always do one musical review every season at least. We have had seasons where we do more than that, and everybody gets to audition for everything. So if you're on the musical theater track, you might be cast in the straight shows, and if you're in the straight acting track, you might get cast in the musical. Mm-hmm. Everybody auditions for everything. The training is I'm going to train you. You're going to get training so you can have a career that's going to last over a lifetime. It's not going to be a finite amount of time.
Great.
How's that?
Perfect. Now let's dive in.
I don't know. Okay, great. Yeah.
So let's say that I am a freshman BFA musical theater major going to Greensboro College for my first year. What does that first year look like for me?
You're going to have acting 1 and acting 2. We have an acting track. We have a musical theater track. So everybody takes the first 4 acting classes together, and then the musical theater majors branch off and have you have your separate performance classes as well. So everybody who comes in your first year, you're going to get 2 semesters of Stanislavski training, 1 semester of Meisner training, and 1 semester of Shakespeare work. Language. It's all about the language. And that's your basically your first 2 years on the acting track. The musical theater majors, then you get an ensemble performance class where you investigate what is the history of an ensemble in the American musical. What did it start out as, and how has it morphed its way through the years to get to where we are now with Hamilton, Dear Evan Hansen, or what we understand, what this generation understands as an ensemble in a musical. How did it start and how has it morphed over the years to get to where we are now? So all of the material in that course it covers ensemble work. And then you also get, in your second semester, you get a cabaret performance class, a solo performance class, where you write your own one-person cabaret show. And we get to investigate What's the difference between being the only person on stage, being a member of the ensemble? What's your relationship to the audience when you're the only person on stage? What's your relationship to the accompanist when it's just you on stage? And so at the end of that semester, we have 15, 16, 17 little half-hour cabaret shows that everybody can go to. That are all. Do you write your own stuff? We put that in the cabaret act. What do you want to say about yourself? How do you want to present yourself at this moment in time? You're the only person on stage. What stories do you want to tell about yourself? And that's really, really, really cool. So you get the acting training, you get the ensemble training, and you get the solo performance training in your first 2 years. And that's just the acting. That's just the acting work, the performance work. In the dance department, because you have to take classes in the dance department, the music department, the theater department. So in the dance department, you're getting ballet, tap, and jazz all 4 years. And then we offer a choreography class. We offer a Renaissance dance class. We offer a hip hop class. We offer there's a dance auditions class. I will get a square dance class in there before I retire.
Well, that's something we've not heard before on this podcast.
Well, no, yes. Well, there's all these other, there's modern, and so there are all of these electives in the dance department that you can take as well. And then from the music department, you're getting 2 semesters of music theory, 1 semester of sight singing. 1 semester of piano is required no matter what level you're at. You will be placed at the correct level. And then you get a private voice lesson, 1 hour a week, one-on-one, you and the voice professor. There is an accompanist in the studio with you. And then you get an additional half an hour every week just with the accompanist to work your material that you've been working on in the private voice lesson. So you're really getting an hour and a half every week. And then once a month we have what's called vocal rep, where you get to actually share what you've been working on in the private voice lessons. And so it's not a concert, it's not a recital, it's just somewhere where you can stand in front of people and sing and present your work and perform. So you're not singing in the shower and not just singing in front of a mirror or in the studio. So that's part of the 4-year plan as well.
Right. You mentioned being able to level up. You mentioned being able to level up on in piano class. Is there the possibility to level up in dance or test out of any classes if they're coming in with music theory, AP music theory or something?
We take the AP theory has come up a lot, and they can test out of that. Yes, a lot of our students, they start out in the dance levels 1 and 2. Yes, just so the teachers can see where you are at. You can take advanced levels. You can test out of the beginning levels. Yes. What's nice about Greensboro College, and what's nice about all the schools in the Greensboro area, is we belong to a consortium. So if there are classes that happen, let's say at UNCG or at A&T, that we don't have in our curriculum, you can register for them as a Greensboro College student and just go across the street or go down the street and take the classes there. You don't have to pay extra fees or any of that kind of, it's on your transcript at Greensboro College. And it's really nice because a lot of our students get to go and take maybe upper level dance classes there. A lot of their students come and take the environmental science class, or if you want to take Japanese, we don't offer that. We don't offer that here at Greensboro College. So we belong to the consortium, which is really nice. It's a nice relationship with all the colleges and all the universities in the Greensboro area.
So those are Greensboro College, University of North Carolina, Greensboro, and then you said A&T, which is North Carolina Agriculture and Technical, right?
Yes, there's also Bennett colleges here, and you think I would know these? I think there are at least 2 others.
Oh, okay, that's incredible.
Guilford College is one. Yeah, so it's a really nice relationship that we have, and it's a really nice program. Here's something that I would like to say to the students that are listening, because this is every program. Every school has an excellent program, and every school has excellent faculty, and every program has students who graduate and go off and work on Broadway and in movies and everything. It's it's really about finding the right fit for you. It's really about talking to every program that's interested in you, because you're going to spend 4 years of your life somewhere, and we actually, this is what, why would you go to a school that you know nothing about, or that you've not experienced? And so when you audition for our program, we take the time. We give you like a mini master class. You bring your audition material to us, and then we're going to play with you. We're going to give you a mini master class. You're going to work with the dance teacher and the acting teacher and the musical theater teacher. And so you get to really audition us as professors, and then you'll be able to say, those people are crazy, I don't want to go study there. Or those people are crazy, that is really cool, I really learned something, and I'm turned on by that, and I really want to go study with them. And a lot of programs don't give you that opportunity. I used to teach in a couple of them, and it's like, please get me in, I have to get into this program. And then you get there and you have no idea how they work, or that you're miserable. And so here we give you the opportunity to actually experience what it's like to be our student. And that's really important. It's about finding the right fit for you. And that's a big part of our philosophy. And I just wanted to make sure I said that, I got that in. Okay.
Beautiful.
What else were we talking about?
Let's talk a little bit about performance opportunities. You mentioned a couple of partnerships earlier with Triad Stage and the Tanger Center.
Yeah.
Talk to us about what opportunities students will have to get on stage.
So we believe in getting you on stage immediately. So your first semester here, you move into the dorms on Saturday, Sunday. Classes begin on Tuesday. Auditions for the fall semester are on that very first weekend, Friday and Saturday, maybe on Sunday as well. Monday, we're in rehearsal. You've been cast in a show, you're in rehearsal. And all of our shows are all main stage shows. We don't have second stage. Everything that we do is a main stage show. Everything that we do is budgeted and funded like every other show. You get cast immediately. If you are the best person for the role in the show and you are a first semester freshman, you get the role. There's no hierarchy in casting here. It keeps everybody on their toes. It keeps everybody working. We just cast the first season here. We're in rehearsal for this fall semester, and some of the leading roles have gone to one leading role that I know of right now has gone to one of the first semester freshmen who just came in. When I did Rocky Horror, during the pandemic. Everybody was the masks were built into the costumes, and the girl who played Janet was an incoming freshman. It happens when I directed Sugar, which is a great show, which is one of my favorite shows. The two lead guys were both incoming freshman musical theater majors. So you come in, you prove yourself, and then you have to continue to prove yourself while you're here with us.
So how many musicals?
I said, everybody auditions for everything. Yeah.
Sorry. So how many musicals? How many plays?
Right. We do anywhere between 7 and 14 shows a year.
Wow.
So we keep you crazy busy. Yes. We will always do, like I said, we will always do one book musical. We will always do one musical review to cover the musical theater majors. We have done more than 2 musicals in a year. It depends on who's directing and what the directors really want to do. It depends on who we have. Also, another reason why the number fluctuates is because we have a directing track, we have a theater education track, and those students have to have directing experience before they go into their the directors, of course, and the theater ed students as well. So their productions are put into the main stage season as well. And we don't have a graduate program here in theater, so you're not competing with graduate students for roles, and the tech students are not competing with graduate students for design roles. We also do so many shows. Our professors, well, I don't want to say they can't design all the shows, but they don't, because we're letting the tech students build their portfolios as well as we go along. And so the upper level, the juniors and seniors, sometimes sophomores maybe, are costume designing shows, lighting designing shows, scenic designing, sound designing shows along the way as well. So you're building your portfolio there. So that's what makes it. That's what really makes it exciting. And also, I can say we've had some performers who take as an elective the lighting design class or the scenic design class, and they really excel, and it really jives with them and gels with them. And we've had students who were not tech majors design lights and design costumes on productions and build their portfolios that way too, which is very, very exciting and very positive for us.
And not just in technical side of things, because I see too that you have students that assistant choreograph. Did I see assistant direct too when I was reading?
Yes. Yes, we have assistant directors. We have assistant choreographers. Sometimes our students are ready and able to actually choreograph the musical, and that's happened, I want to say, 2 or 3 times since I've been here, which is exciting as well. Yes. I was going to go and say something else, and it's lost.
Sorry, I derailed you. I think my apologies.
No, you're fine. No, absolutely, yes.
So in some schools,
we also have. Let me say. Go ahead.
No, please
I was
go
going to
ahead.
say we also have a very nice relationship with our music department, and we have a kick-ass jazz band. They are really cool and really good. They're well known all through the city. They bus them in from the nursing homes, and everybody comes to see it. And every spring semester, they do an evening where they have the students be vocalists with the band, and our musical theater majors, as well as the voice majors from the voice program. But the musical theater majors get to sing in front of a full jazz band as well one night at a concert, which is they're singing jazz standards, or they're singing whatever, the charts that they figure out with Professor Springs. And that's really a cool thing to be able to see your students, singing jazz standards in front of a full jazz orchestra for an evening, and that's really, really exciting too.
Yeah. So when you mentioned those, So when you mentioned those partnerships, does that mean that the students are performing on those stages as well, or?
Okay. Yes. So the Tanger Center, which is the Broadway touring house, just opened last season. We just went through their first season, and our costume professor is a member of the union, and she has an in there. I want to say she has an in there. So all of our costuming majors, the season just happened to work out. Our season and the Broadway touring season was perfect. So all of our costuming majors were able to go over to the Tanger Center and work crew as dressers and on the costume crew, and get to make connections in the business that way. And 2 of them actually were said, give me your resume. I know you're going to graduate next year. We love your work. We want to stay in touch with you, which was fabulous, which is great. So our tech students are going to, I believe, we're hoping, are going to be able to start going in, even if they just have the opportunity to go and watch a load-in or watch a tech rehearsal over there. Those are the kind of things that are starting to happen. That facility has just opened, and so we're real excited about that. We have a very nice relationship with the Triad Stage, which is the equity house in town. Their artistic director directs in our season every other year, so you get the opportunity to make connections that way. If there is a role in the Triad season that she thinks you should read for, we are certainly not going to say, oh, no, I'm sorry, we need to keep that actor here. This is an opportunity that we see. You can go have a professional audition. You can maybe even get cast in the role. And some of our students have actually gotten cast in roles there. And so we've had to take them out of the role that we had them in so they can have this professional opportunity. Of course, we're going to support you and let you go and have that, So that's the kind of relationship we have with Triad Stage. A lot of our students, our stage managers, get to go and be ASMs over there and work crew. Some of our acting majors had time to go over and work crew there and make those connections there, which is a very positive experience for them and for us. There's a dinner theater in town. One of our senior musical theater majors last year got cast in Smoke on the Mountain with them, which was a great role and a great opportunity for him. And so, it's not like we allowed him to go do it, but, we said, yes, absolutely go and do that and have that experience. So, yeah, so we have a very nice relationship with the professional organizations in town.
That's wonderful.
We're very connected with SCTC, which is the Southeastern Theater Conference. Their main headquarters are here in Greensboro. The North Carolina Theater Conference, their main headquarters is here in Greensboro. The International Outdoor Drama Association, they have a relationship here in Greensboro. And so our campus hosts at times a lot of their preliminary auditions and their conferences. And so our students not only get to audition on their home turf, but they're also the hosts for all of these producers and directors and casting people who come from all over the country to Greensboro for these conferences, and our students are showing them around campus, you need to get to this space, follow me. And so you're making that personal connection with everybody that way too, which is very helpful. Like, it's all who in this business. And the more opportunities I can have and we can have for our students to get to know people, get to be in the same room or at the same conference with them, just so you're not auditioning for them, but you're actually walking, talking, meeting, laughing, joking with them, that's a real big part of it.
Right. So in some schools, the BFA Musical Theater program is so jam-packed with classes and rehearsals and things that it's difficult to minor or double major in areas outside of the musical theater. Is that the case at Greensboro College?
It's very tricky. I'll say that it's very tricky, but we have had people double major. Business is something that we suggest if you're looking for a double major, because it's show business, and a lot of people forget about the business part and they just concentrate on the show part. So we do have a couple of business classes that are built into the performance programs, that deal with headshots and resumes and that kind of stuff, but and websites, but business is a big draw for theater majors to double major. Psychology is also big. So the answer is yes. And we also have a student right now who has two concentrations going on at the same time, musical theater and stage management. And she's able to do that in 4 years, which is nice. We also have an honors program on campus here, and a lot of our theater majors participate in the honors program. And there's a lot of perks that at the end of your 4 years, if you're in the honors program, you publish a thesis. And so we're guiding the theater majors who are in the honors program along their 4 years as well with their thesis. A lot of them choose to have their thesis have nothing to do with theater, but some of them choose because they're so immersed in it 24/7 with us, But there are some that choose to do a theater related thesis. One of our musical theater majors last year looked at the big Broadway musicals that have two female roles in them, like Oklahoma and Wicked and Guys and Dolls, and comparing the voice, the way the composer wrote the voices and the way the lyricist wrote the lyrics for each character and the voice itself, and approaching those roles, which was very exciting. Yes, you can double major. It takes a lot of work, and also that brings me around to something else. The kind of students that I'm looking for, I say I want somebody who's serious. I want somebody who's fierce. I want somebody who's fearless. Those are the kind of students our program draws and attracts. And we don't have to. We keep you so busy that we don't have time for the people who just want. If you're coming to my production, if you're coming to my program because you're going to be in 10 shows every year, and if that's the reason why you're coming, then I'm not the program for you, because I need people who understand that you're coming to be trained so you can have a career. And it's the studio classes that are important. And then you get to apply, the bonus is you get to apply what you're learning in the studio classes in the rehearsal process, in the performance process. And they figure that out immediately while they're here.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about...
I'm jumping all over the place. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, you're doing... That's fine. Tell us what... give us sort of a feel for the college itself, in Greensboro and the area of Greensboro that it's in. Because, when students eventually do want to leave campus and do other things, what's the area like?
Yeah, Greensboro is very green, I will say that. There are a lot of parks. There are a lot of... gardens. It's very green. It's a green city.
Aptly named.
Yes.
Is the college itself, would you consider the campus itself to be sort of a classic college campus that you would think of when you think of a college campus in movies? Is it more urban?
Yeah.
What is it?
So we're a small. It's about 3-4 city blocks long is the campus. We're small. We only have about 1,100 students on campus, so we're not like. And the average class size on campus right now is 9. That's like your English class, your biology class, your math class. It can get up to 12. It could maybe even get up to 20. That's a big class here. It's not like you see in the movies where there's 500 people sitting in a lecture hall. Here you have the one-on-one conversations with each professor. Everybody's going to know everything about you, which at times will be a good thing, and sometimes maybe it's not such a good thing. But it's we do have an athletic field. We do have sports teams. We do have a sorority on campus. But it's enclosed. It's a typical small Methodist. It's because we're Methodist based, although we can talk about that in the theater program too. It's a small, contained, very I want to say historical building, southern kind of campus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Downtown is 3-4 blocks away, which is hopping. There's plenty of nightlife. There's plenty of art galleries, and Greensboro hosts the folk festival every year. There's a gay pride festival every year. There is a jazz festival every year. So Greensboro is a very hopping city, and there's always something to do and some place to go.
You brought up that the school is founded and tied to the United Methodist Church. So
yes.
Sometimes students, students that
can
aren't
be
Methodist.
A turn-off or, yes.
Yeah, tell me sort of what that role is in the church plays in the school.
So here's what I learned from our campus chaplain, who is a friend of the theater department. The Methodist church, the Methodists would come into a city and build a church, and then they would build a campus for the children to be educated in. And that's your typical Methodist university setup in these small cities in the country. In a nutshell, in general, that's how I understand it. And so while we are a Methodist university, there is no requirement that you need to be Methodist to come here. We do have a chapel service on Thursdays, which is not required for anybody to go to, but a lot of our theater majors actually participate and sing in the chapel choir at times. But it's not, we're not forcing the Methodist religion at you at all. I don't get that feeling. I've been here for 12 years. The administration is very supportive of the theater program, of the arts programs here. They do not say you can't do that show or you can't do that artwork, or you can't play that piece of music, or whatever. There's nothing like that. The president comes to see everything. He supports everything on campus. I don't know when the man has time to do what he's supposed to be doing, because he's at every football game, every basketball game, every art show, every concert. He's at opening night of every production. The very first show I directed here 12 years ago was Cabaret. I didn't know anybody. When I got into town, I met the dance professor. And even before saying, hi, I'm Perry, and I understand we're going to be working together and you're going to choreograph my production, the first words out of my mouth were stripper poles. And she looked at me and I said, yeah, that's my concept for that's where I'm starting with for Cabaret. We're going to start with stripper poles. And she looked at me and she's like, okay. And actually the technical director put up a bunch of stripper poles backstage during the rehearsal process so everybody could go and start working on them, and that was like really awesome and really cool. Anyway, so it was opening night of Cabaret. I knew it was really raunchy, down and dirty, and it was opening night, and I was standing in the back of the theater, and the president and his wife came in, and that's when I went, uh-oh. And then the campus chaplain came in, and then I was like, okay, we're screwed. I'm done here, and then the football team came in their shirts and ties with the football coach, and then the lacrosse team came in. Yeah, and I was like, where am I? Because at the last place that I thought that would never happen. And then the soccer team came in, It's that kind of community, that kind of campus community. And they watched the show, and after the show, the president came over to me, and I didn't know what I was going to say, and I was like saying, I didn't want to say I'm sorry, but I said, that's the kind of stuff you're going to get from me. And he said, I loved it. It's Cabaret. What did you think I would expect? And so I was so he and his wife are very, very supportive of the arts program, of the theater program. The faculty on campus comes to see our shows. Like I said, the sports people, the sports teams come to see our shows. And we have had football players and soccer players and tennis players and basketball players as theater majors. And so the teams come to see us, and when we can, we go and we watch their games. And that's the kind of community, and that's the kind of thing that keeps me here. Which it's the support, and it's the support in the community. It's really, really good, really, really strong.
That's really impressive. That's really great to hear that there's so much support. Wow.
Oh, absolutely. And the faculty, the other faculty on campus love the theater majors because you're the ones who speak up in class. You're the ones who know how to have a conversation. You can look people in the eye and actually, no, you know what I mean? It's everybody's like, what do you teach in theater? And then you see the theater majors, and they're the ones who know how to have a conversation with you during your course. And so you walk across campus, they say hello to you, they've seen you on stage, they may have been on stage with you, because sometimes I like to put cameos in, which is really nice too. So it's really that kind of feeling all around the campus.
So let's switch gears now and talk a little bit about the audition process. Do you pre-screen? That's always my first question.
So pre-screens are I don't actually know what that means. No, I'll be honest. I really don't know. Everybody throws that term around with me. I'll tell you, I go to conferences. I see students. They have 90 seconds. Something tells me that my program might be right for them. I give them a call back, we chat, and then I invite them to come to campus to audition for us. You can sit in on our classes. We have an open house day that coincides with every production that we are running. So you can come, spend the day on campus, see the show, and do your audition for us and meet with us, and get it all done in a weekend. Then this thing called COVID happened, and we weren't bringing people to campus anymore, so we started doing it over Zoom. And so we can audition you over Zoom, and if you're in Arizona, or if you're in California, or Saipan, we'll audition you and you can't get here. We audition you over Zoom, and you get that mini masterclass over Zoom with all of us as well. So that's really the audition process. 2 songs contrasting, 2 monologues contrasting. If you're coming to campus, when we start having auditions on campus again, we will put you through a dance audition, and sometimes in the past, before the pandemic, a lot of the dance auditions were run by our musical theater dance captains, which was really nice to give them a little bit more responsibility as well. The professors are there, but we're watching them teach, and we're watching your dance auditions as well. So that's how the audition process works. And then you have to apply to the school through the admissions department and get accepted to the school itself. And then you have to do your audition and interview with the professors in the theater department to get accepted into the theater program as well. And then we send all the information that we have to admissions and to the financial aid people and say, I really want that person. Let's get them as much money as we can. Let's get them as much financial aid as we can. So that's how that whole process works.
So your final auditions are on campus. You may go
on campus, yeah.
Yeah, you may go to the SETC and other conferences and things, but in order to audition for school, you need to be on campus.
You need to audition for the faculty, not just me, because again, we give you those mini master classes, so you get to really audition us. I see you audition for me, and then I invite you to audition us as a program.
Right. And sorry, my train of thought was just derailed. So when they are auditioning at SETC and things, it's an invite. Live auditions or happen either on campus or by Zoom for the entire faculty.
Yes.
How many offers are you? What is the incoming class size that you're aiming for?
Right now, this year incoming class total in the theater program, I want to say is about 2021.
Total all 4 years is 20.
Total. Incoming freshman class
21.
right now. Our whole theater department usually hovers between 50 and 60 students. Right now, we're a little under because the last 3 classes that graduated were really, really big. And then, we had this pandemic, and a lot of people didn't want to go too far away or go to school far away.
Right.
Anyway. So we hover around 60. That's the limit that we want, because then you start losing your individual one-on-one personal relationship with the professors. The average class size here in the theater department, let's see, I want to say the largest class I've taught in the 12 years I've been here maybe was 6 or 7. So you really get that one-on-one time constantly every day. We also have a professor, I think there were 5 people in her acting class, and one person didn't show up because they were out partying the night before, and she marched the whole class over to the dorm room and pulled him out of bed. It's like, no. There are 5 people in this class. And you need to be here. Let's go. So no, that's what I mean. We're serious, I understand you're here and you're at college and there's all that other kind of stuff going on, but I'm training you to have a career, and you can't just decide, I'm not going to go to rehearsal today because I was out drinking, or I'm not going to do, it's like, no, let's go. Come on. You're here to learn, and now you're going to really learn.
So when you're out on the road, and
story too.
I mean, that's absolutely sounds like all of my professors in college. I relate to that. So when you're out doing the recruitment at festivals and things, you say that you see a student and in your gut that they are right for your program. What does that mean?
What it is?
Yeah. What does that mean?
What does that mean? It means that I can see that you're serious. I don't want you to have the best audition ever, Well, I do, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody who really wants it, who really wants this, wants the training, who's somebody who's serious. And I can't tell you what that is. I can't put my finger on it, but when I see it, I know that this person is serious and this person will work for it. And this person has the talent and has the ability to get there. And I, you know, it's not like they sing the best song or they do the monologue the best, because that's that moment, and it's the moment is always changing. The next time you sing the song is going to be different, you know. And I never use the word better. I always use deeper or richer or stronger. How can we make that moment deeper or richer or stronger the next time you sing the song, the next time you do that monologue, the next time you do that piece? Yeah.
So one of the
I don't know. I don't know what it is that I recognize. I just recognize it, and something about them tells me that my program will be the right fit for you. It's not like I'm calling back everybody because they're good and terrific. I look for the person that's gonna excel and grow in my program, with my program.
Great. The last question I always ask our guests
Sure.
is, share something with us that you are looking forward to this semester.
I am looking forward to, the musical this semester is 9 to 5. I am looking forward to the excitement of the tech that the students are going to experience. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to, it's a very rich script. It's a very rich score. And there are a lot of good little parts that make the actors shine. And that's really what I'm all about, is giving you the moment and letting you shine, and how you help the other person on stage have their moment. And there's so many of those kind of little minor little characters in 9 to 5, and the way that the show is cast, I'm just looking forward to watching everybody shine. That's really where I am. Yeah.
So Perry,
is that too cheesy an answer?
Not at all. That's wonderful. So Perry, tell me, if students are interested in learning more about Greensboro College, or parents are interested in learning more about Greensboro College, what's the best way to get in touch?
Yeah, you can go to our website, www.greensboro.edu, or you can email me, perry.morgan, Morgan, Perry, Perry.morgan @greensboro.edu. That's the best. That's the best way to get in touch with me. Our students host a Zoom call once a month. It's just the students. There's no faculty in on that call. So if you want to be invited to that, drop me an email and we'll get you invited to that as well.
That's interesting.
And you'll learn
That's
about
great.
the program. You'll learn about the program from the students' point of view. Yeah, they took that upon themselves to do that. Yeah. Okay.
Wonderful. Well, Perry, thank you again for joining us today and sharing information about your incredible program there in North Carolina. And I do hope we get to see you around here again sometime soon.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
For more information on the exciting training, workshops, and resources we have to offer at the College Audition, please visit us online at www.thecollegeaudition.com or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.